Hello there, this is James and you're watching Tixee Live, and a very good afternoon to all of you. Wow, what a day. What a day to be back in the studio, because from what we were talking about this morning, a lot of things have happened in the market since this morning, and some very, very dramatic movements indeed. But before I get into that, don't forget, these little episodes or these little videos are for educational purposes only, and in no way whatsoever should ever be taken as financial advice. I always suggest you do your own research and do your own due diligence, and of course, know the risks at hand before entering any trade. With that out of the way, let's get started. Now, this morning, I'm so glad to be back in the studio, because this is the sort of thing today, so far in this trading session, this is the sort of thing ideally you need to be in the studio on what has happened over the last couple of hours. This morning I was discussing whether or not there was a little bit of optimism creeping back into the market, because I was very doomy and gloomy on Friday. I actually said at the time, I said, no, in my opinion, I can't see it, but there was chat at the early part of the European session that there was maybe a bit of optimism in the market, but that has not been the case this so far. The remainder of the European trading session has not been the case at all. In fact, what we are seeing total greenback domination. The US dollar is at the moment so strong across so many of the majors, it's untrue. Because basically what has happened this morning, remember, this morning I was talking to you a little bit about maybe there's some optimism creeping in to the market over the US-China talks, with the idea that the US may, start looking back at cancelling or easing off these tariffs on China. And they were communicating, and basically they were very constructive talks. So the market was thinking, okay, the two economic superpowers are trying to be friends. So what does this mean to the market? So there was a little bit of optimism. But as I said at the time this morning, I don't think that was the case. And as I talk, I am absolutely right, because what we've got a fear of recession is totally outweighing the optimism over this US-China talks. And what we are seeing is, like I've already mentioned, pure dollar strength. But there's one pair in particular I really wish to talk about, and that is the euro dollar. And it's crashed to a 20-year low. A 20-year low. In fact, it's never been near this level since December 2002. 2002, and this is before, to be fair, I was ever in the industry. I came in the industry around about 2005, 2006. So it's even trading, not been trading at levels since I've been doing this. So this is really quite shocking, and there is a number of factors. Yes, we have got dollar strength clearly across the board, because we have uncertainty and fears of recession. On the back of that, lack of ECB direction when it comes to their own interest rates. Okay, we are beginning to see poor EU economic data creeping in, as well as that, and of course, and there's something I want to talk to you about in a minute, which is driving this as well, which is the European gas crisis, which we'll discuss. But let's have a quick look at the euro across the board, how it's doing at the moment. Okay, because obviously this is some real shocking moves. It's currently trading as I talk, okay, at 1.0276. It finally broke through that level, which we've been looking at over several trading sessions. The 1.03 is 606 level. It's now trading at 102.798, and like I said, it's never been at this level since December 2002. If we look at euro against some other pairs as well, it's not just the dollar. Yes, we are seeing dollar strength, but if you have a look against the euro against the Aussie dollar, it's slightly more sideways against the euro Aussie dollar. But if you have a look against the euro Swiss franc, okay, we're trading at 0.99412, okay, under parity against the Swiss franc. So that's really struggling against the British pound, because the sterling, don't forget, is not having a great time either. And I'll talk about that in the moment as well, about the sterling. But the sterling's gained strength against the euro with these recent crashes of the euro. It's currently trading at 0.86019. So the sterling is benefiting against the euro. You look at the euro yen, okay, currently trading at 139.59. So yeah, you are really seeing real bad euro weakness across the board. Yes, one of the factors is we are seeing a huge amount of dollar strength, but the other factors are the other things he's creeping in. And like I say, there's even talk now. There's even talk once again, which we talked about this before, that maybe some analysts, not necessarily me, I'm not saying this, but some analysts believe the euro dollar could get to parity against the US dollar by the end of August. So this is a really dramatic move. So, I mean, what is driving this as well as dollar strength? Yes, that is a key factor of what we're witnessing at the moment. Recession fears have really gripped the market as it stands. And yeah, we are seeing a lot of dollar strength against all the major pairings. So it's not just Euro, but the euro seems to be the most dramatic of the bunch. And there is several reasons. Like I say, okay, the Fed has pulled the trigger and raised interest rates. The Bank of England has pulled interest rates. The RBA this morning, like we discussed, has pulled the trigger and been really aggressive with interest rates. The ECB, I've said they're going to, but yet, as of yet, they have done very little action or very little confidence that they are going to be that aggressive. So combine that with pretty weak European data coming in, recession fears, so market rushing to safe havens like the greenback. The other big elephant in the room is the European gas crisis. Some analysts are asking the question, this gas crisis in Europe, could it be Europe's Lehman Brothers? Could it really be as bad as the Lehman Brothers collapse? Because don't forget, I think, was it last week or the week before? The week before, we talked about Germany doing the second alert stage of its emergency gas plan. Okay, and we also spoke about how Europe relies on 40% of its gas coming from Russia. And obviously, we've got huge issues with that supply as it stands. So this is another thing weighing down on the euro as well. So this move on the euro today, like I've said, hasn't been trading at these levels since December 2002. And let's say that's even before I started to be in this industry as well. So I've never seen it at this level in my lifetime either. So anyway, that's euro. So yeah, anyway, I just want to say one further point. I think the EU gas crisis, okay, is going to be a story which is going to be developing into even bigger news down the line, and we'll need to watch that very, very closely indeed. So anyway, that's the euro. So what else is occurring? What else is happening? Well, remember I was talking about the happiest man in the neighborhood, a really jolly guy called Andrew Bailey, who's the Bank of England's governor. Well, he did come out and say, actually a bit mixed, actually. He did say initially the global economic outlook has deteriorated markedly, and global financial conditions as a whole have tightened significantly. Okay, so again, pretty doom and gloom on that. But he also said the British banks were well placed to weather even a severe economic slowdown. So he actually boosted up his comments saying that the banks can withstand any economic slowdown. They were in a good place. So yes, he admitted about economic slowdown and that, yeah, the UK is brinkering on an edge of recession. Okay, because don't forget, the UK has its own problems. Okay, obviously we have record high, inflation, the highest level since 1981, 9.1%. Okay, we are facing economic slowdown as well. We got poor economic data coming in. Plus as that, we got the ongoing Brexit thing. Okay, but anyway, what was the impact on the cable? Well, the cable currently is testing the lows of last week. Let's bring it up now and have a look at it. So yeah, the cable is currently trading at the lows of last week, 1.19516. So yeah, the sterling is under a lot of strain. Again, though, unlike the euro, which has got several factors weighing it down, I think the main thing driving the sterling down at the moment is, of course, this dollar strength. Because if we were seeing complete sterling weakness, we wouldn't see it be gaining ground on the euro like it is at the moment. So yeah, this is purely down to dollar strength. The market in general, though, we'll have a look at the market in a minute properly. But the market in general, because of this fear, which is now really gripping the marketplace, really gripping the market, the US stocks are set to open lower. And don't forget, the US have been on holiday to celebrate their Independence Day yesterday. So now they're coming back to the party, coming back to play. And what a day to come back to play. So yeah, the US stocks are set to open lower. In particular, I'll be keeping a close eye on, it's interesting, we're looking at Tesla. Because Tesla reportedly set to, it's a typo, my mistake, set to pause output at its plants in Shanghai and Berlin for a couple of weeks. So only for a couple of weeks, they say, but that could be sort of like cushioning some bad news coming up. I mean, excuse me. So yeah, turning down production for a couple of weeks or stopping production in a couple of weeks. And talking about these plants, Musk actually said recently, he described the Berlin factory as a money furnace. In other words, it's like a money pit. He's just wasting money on this plant. That's what he says. So it'll be interesting to see how Tesla opens along with all the other US stocks as well. Any good news? Well, no, not really if you're an oil trader, but maybe for the rest of us who eventually hope that oil prices will get back to levels where we can afford to drive our cars again. But oil has weakened again, has weakened also during this session, helped by those that prediction by Citigroup. Remember, I talked about it this morning, where Citigroup is a prediction saying that they reckon that oil could fall as low as $65 a barrel by the end of the year. That's quite a shocking prediction. Bear in mind that oil is still trading above $100 a barrel quite significantly, and the oil has been on a bull run since the beginning of the year. Let's have a quick look at where oil is at the moment. So, yeah, I mean, it's currently trading. I mean, look, actually, that is a dramatic crash down. Thank God you guys are here to join me. There we go. Currently trading right now, and that's a big drop. This is obviously down to the fact that we've got a fear of recession now gripping the market. This is not just because of Citigroup. It's trading now. That's a big move. It was trading earlier on. This is a 30-minute chart. So this has happened in the last 30 minutes. It's currently trading now at $103.85. Before that, it was trading around $106.63. So clearly, this is real market fear. Same with Brent. Brent in the last half hour has dropped from $111.63 a barrel, now down to $108 a barrel and 65 cents. That is quite a shocking drop to happen in the last 30 minutes. So clearly, we are seeing a lot of recession concerns at the moment. Let's have a quick look at the S&P 500. S&P 500, not as dramatic, but still negative, still trading lower at 3,775 points. The Dow, let's have a look at the Dow. Currently, again, yes, under pressure, not as dramatic as oil just then, but 30,673 points. Gold, okay, we're crashed back under that $1,800 level again. Okay, 1,795.67. So yeah, we are seeing, obviously gold used to be cleared as safe haven. We are seeing a little bit of safe haven. And just to have a look, let's have a look at the dollar yen. Okay, it came under a little bit of pressure. 135.73. It sort of says to me that, okay, we still see dollar strength against the Japanese yen, but we might see a little bit of yen buying in here for safe haven down the line. So yeah, what a day, what an afternoon this market has been. Yeah, some big turnarounds. Oil in particular. I'm going to be watching that pretty dramatically over the next as the US opens, because that's a big drop off. So obviously fear is really sneaking in. What a day. and we've had no real major economic events. But guess what? We've got a whole week coming at massive economic events still to come. EU retail sales, US ISM services PMI, US FOMC minutes. That's going to be a big one. US ADP employment, US initial claims, ECB land cards speaking. And I know how dovish she is. I wonder what she's going to do to the euro. US average earnings and US unemployment. And of course, US non-farm payroll, which I will do a watch along with. Now, I think with all this happening today, obviously FOMC is going to be the key thing to watch, but I think it's going to be the job data. And the labor market has been pretty steady. It's been the backbone of many of the bankers saying that, oh no, the economy can take rate hikes. We've got a strong economy because of our very strong labor market. We start seeing a weakening in that, then obviously recession fears will really grip the market. European market session, how they currently stand, not a great day. The FTSE negative 1.95%. DAX currently trading negative 2.34%. Eurostock 50 currently trading at negative 2.50%. So yes, what a day so far. And we still got the US session to come in just over 10 minutes time. No, don't forget, you guys, you fine people can ask me questions anytime you wish. Anytime, if you have any comments, any questions you want to ask me in reference to the market, or maybe you just want to maybe say hello and or just say hi, anything at all, always feel free to ask me questions anytime you wish. And if I know the answer, I obviously will answer it. Okay, so there's no questions at the moment, not a problem. Now don't forget, I'll be back online again tomorrow. Back online tomorrow again at 8 a.m. UTC. Okay, so it'd be interesting to see how the US session unfolds currently. And I'll be back online again tomorrow afternoon at 1 p.m. UTC. And yeah, we got some key economic data coming out tomorrow as well, which would be interesting to watch. So, and of course, obviously, we do a build up for the FOMC, which is actually, the FOMC is Wednesday, isn't it? Of course, I'm losing my train of thought. It's been such an exciting afternoon. So yeah, so we'll talk about the FOMC in particular tomorrow, because that's going to be a huge event happening as well. So watch, we'll talk about that in detail tomorrow. Perhaps I'll do like a preview and maybe look at some potential outcomes. But let's see how the market feels after the US session today. So had a really dramatic European session, Let's see what the US session brings, seeing if it brings any changing mood, which I have to be honest, I think the momentum is with the bears at the moment, unless we have a complete change around, which I sort of doubt. But let's see. Okay, if there's no questions, euro dollar history, good question. Good question. I can't really even remember when it was at 0.94. To be absolutely honest, I know obviously in its inception, I remember the early days. It was obviously 0.85 against the dollar, and then it started to grow. But like 0.94, it's way back. I think at the tail end, around about the tail end, the inception of it was around about January. The proper euro dollar, what we know now, happened around the January 2002, and it was trading around just under 1, and then it started to move higher. But yeah, then maybe we could see that level because, like I said earlier on, many analysts do indeed think it could indeed go to parity. But it's going to be really fascinating to see certainly where it is. And like I said, I haven't seen it at this even when I've been doing it. But a great question. Thank you very much, sir. A very, very good question. Is there any other questions at all? Anybody else like to ask me anything? Please feel free, or just say hello if you like. Like I say, if I know the answer, I'm happy to answer it. But good question. Thank you for the interaction. I really like it. Yeah, like I say, that 0.94 is not out of the question. Okay, they think that it could dramatically go to parity. Some analysts, I'm not saying this is coming from me, but if some analysts are saying it could go to parity, and that, let's face it, many analysts have been saying that for a while over the last couple of months, last 2 months or so, they've been saying parity. And I really do think this EU gas crisis is going to become such a major factor in the weeks to come, weeks or months to come. So I think we haven't even seen anything yet in relation to that. So let's see. But great question. Any other questions at all? Anything else anybody would like to ask me? I'm exhausted. What a trading session. Okay, if there's no more questions, don't forget, if you think of a question later, and you want to ask, and you suddenly think about it, jot it down in the comments, either on Facebook or YouTube. I will see them. And next time I come online, I will answer those questions for you. So feel free to do it that way. But if there is no further questions, if you're watching me on Facebook and you quite like this little episode, by all means, give us a follow if you like. If you are watching this episode on YouTube and you want to, subscribe if you like. Hit the notification button so you know next time I'm going live. If you enjoyed this little video, found it interesting, insightful, and you put up with me for being over enthusiastic about the market, which I can't help. I love the markets. By all means, give me one of these. But anyway, till next time, remember, these little videos are for educational purposes only, and in no way whatsoever should ever be taken as financial advice. I always suggest you do your own research and do your own due diligence. And of course, know the risks at hand before entering any trade. Till next time, every single one of you, trade safe.